Today, we're diving into a really short but incredibly powerful poem. It's one of those that just sticks with you because it reveals this timeless, kind of uncomfortable truth about the massive difference between how people look and what they might actually be hiding inside.
And really, it all comes down to this, doesn't it? This is the big question. It's what drove the poet to write this thing over 100 years ago, but man, does it feel even more relevant today. I mean, think about it.
All right, so first up, let's meet the man himself. Or maybe it's more accurate to say, let's meet the idea of the man, the version that everyone in town saw from afar.
Right from the jump, these first two lines set up a huge divide. You've got we people on the pavement, the regular folks, the working class, and then you've got Richard Cory. They're literally looking up at the sky, like he's on a whole other level of existence.
So what did they see when they looked up? Just absolute perfection. I mean, listen to this. A gentleman from soul to crown. Head to toe, the guy was flawless. Even the way he's described, imperially slim. It just sounds so regal, right? Almost like he's royalty.
And this is what I find so interesting. The way they describe him. He was quietly arrayed, so, he dressed well but wasn't all flashy about it. He was human when he talked, so he seemed approachable, right? But then there's this other side. Just him saying good morning made people's pulses flutter. And get this, he glittered when he walked. He was somehow both a real person and this magical, superhuman figure. Okay, so his perfection wasn't just about how he looked. Oh no, it was his money, his social status, it was the whole package. And this is where that admiration from the town starts to, it starts to sour into something else. The poem really drills this point home. He wasn't just rich. Notice that little pause. Yes, richer than a king. I mean, that's just a crazy level of wealth. And the key thing is, it wasn't just about the money. He had class, he was graceful, polished. He basically had it all and made it look easy. So after listing all of this stuff, the poem just boils it all down to this one simple, powerful line. This was their final verdict on him. We thought that he was everything. Not just a great guy, but everything. The total package. And here's the kicker. This is what that belief led to. It wasn't just admiration anymore. It turned into straight up envy. They didn't just wish they were like him. They wished they were him. They wanted to trade places to have his life instead of their own. He became the symbol for everything they wanted. So to really get why they felt this way, why the envy was so deep, we have to look at their lives. The poem makes this really clever pivot right here, and it shows us the other side of the story in some pretty brutal detail. This contrast is everything. It's what drives the whole poem. On one side, you have their reality. They worked. They went without the meat. I mean, that's real poverty. And they even cursed the bread. They were miserable. And on the other side, you have Richard Cory, this glittering king-like figure they've created in their minds. It's almost like the harder their own lives were, the more perfect he had to be. He was their escape, but also their reason for their resentment. Man, this line just feels so tired, doesn't it? They waited for the light. What is the light? It's that hope for a better day, for some kind of break, for things to finally get easier. It's this vague thing that keeps them going. And while they're waiting, they look at Richard Cory and think, well, he's got the light. He's living in it. He was everything they were waiting for. Okay, so just when we're settled into this rhythm, their hard life versus his perfect one, the whole story just takes a hard left turn. It completely shatters everything we and the townspeople thought we knew. The poem sets the scene so perfectly, and Richard Cory, one calm summer night. See how peaceful that sounds? It's calm. It's normal. Nothing seems wrong. The poet is just holding us here for a second, building that tension. Went home and put a bullet through his head. And that's it. The final shocking truth. The man who had everything, who was everything, apparently had nothing to live for. That calm, glittering exterior was hiding a storm that nobody, not a single person on that pavement, ever saw coming. So why does that ending just punch you in the gut? It's because the whole poem is a perfect lesson on its main theme, appearance versus reality. That massive, dangerous gap between how a life looks on the outside and how it actually feels on the inside. When you really break it down, the lessons here are pretty stark. The perfection everyone saw, it was just a powerful illusion. The envy they felt, it was based on a story they made up, on incomplete information. It teaches us that wealth and status, they absolutely do not guarantee happiness. And maybe the biggest one, that you can seem perfectly calm, you can glitter when you walk, and still be hiding an unbearable amount of pain.
Now, looking at the whole poem all at once, you can just see how brilliantly it's put together. It's so tragic. You get 12 lines that carefully, meticulously build up this perfect myth of a man, and then the last 2 lines just come in and completely tear it all down. It's just, wow, unforgettable. And this is why this poem is still so important. It's not some dusty old piece from 1897. I mean, we are living in the ultimate age of curated perfection. Every single social media feed is just a highlight reel, right? In a way, we're all the people on the pavement now, looking up at these lives that seem to glitter. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Who are the Richard Corys scrolling past on your feed every day? And what's the real story, the human story, hiding behind that perfect filter?